hotter than ever for women to play basketball. But behind the audiences packed to the brim and numbers that broke records, a war is going on.
This is the moment that we've been waiting for in women's basketball. And honestly, it's way bigger than that. This is the moment that we've been waiting for in women's sports.
On the one hand, ESPN's Cheney is taking veiled shots at the Indiana Fever's meteoric rise. On the other hand, Kelsey Mitchell, the Beavers' unsung hero, just gave a reaction that was so brutally honest that it sent shockwaves through the sports media.
Of course, I'm so glad I got my sister from another mister, one of the most electrifying guards in the WNBA. She's been breaking records since her college days. We're talking about handles, three-point shooting, and an undeniable work ethic. This woman deserves her flowers. She defines consistency and excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kelsey Mitchell.
This isn't just about basketball. It's also about loyalty versus jealousy, truth versus lies, and the unbreakable bond between Mitchell and Caitlin Clark, who wouldn't let the media tear them apart.
I am Kelsey Mitchell. I am a guard, and I look forward to playing with the team this year.
Mitchell has been a fan of the Fever for years, but now that the league is trying to downplay her team's success, she's coming out into the light, and fans are crazy about her. This is more than just a viral moment, it's a reckoning. If you love brave women who stand up for their team, hit that like button and subscribe for more unfiltered sports drama.
Maybe I'll start with you, Kels, because Lord Jesus, your team and their fans,
Jesus,
they be getting up in everybody's business.
Okay, so the stress didn't start on the court. It started on camera when Christy turned to Kelsey Mitchell and said, "Lord Jesus, y'all team and those fans, they be getting up in everyone's business."
I mean, I had a follow-up on Caitlin Clark, which is fine, but the two of you combined for nearly 60-plus points, and you both shot 54%, each hitting 5 threes. I mean, what is going on in the backcourt for you two?
I think that me and Kaylin, as well as our group, I think we just found a way to, for one, understand and know it.
Some people thought it was just a joke, but for those who have bleed Indiana red through years of losses in empty arenas, it wasn't funny. It was another subtle dig at the team's rise as a media circus instead of a real force built on hard work, loyalty, and sacrifice. And Mitchell knows that sacrifice better than anyone else.
Ionescu will tease and hit!
Asia Wilson with 1,000 career points on the season.
While WNBA stars flock to glamorous markets and championship-ready teams, Mitchell State went through 7 seasons of hard rebuilding. She also had to deal with the pain of seeing her best years fade into obscurity and the heartbreak of losing her dad right before the 2023 season.
The fans, tell us anything else you want to say to the fans. Full house today.
To all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. I've been fortunate enough to have a really great father in my life for the last 28 years, who passed recently. And so to the fathers out there, keep doing y'all thing. We won't be here without you guys, and so enjoy y'all Father's Day.
This hero didn't fear the man, she didn't run, she picked Indiana, and now that the Fever has finally gotten some attention, Mitchell isn't going to let anyone change the story. Not ESPN, not Lord Jesus, not the people, and not anyone else.
Oh man, I think I've seen both sides of it. For one, like being on a team with like Caitlin and knowing that some of the stuff and the wave that she created for like, as you know, where the game is and what she's been a part of, like as far as this process, I've seen so much of it. And so I think for me lately is the shift in moments in Indiana period, as far as like the arena, where we started, and B was my vet, kinda, right? Kinda.
We up there, sis, we up there.
She was a Fever girl first. And so she also saw, and you know, she's a vet too. They've seen what Indiana was, and I think now where it's at now, the big moment is seeing the shit.
Because when that comment was made, she didn't just smile, she replied with the truth. At that moment, it wasn't about ego or making headlines. It was about standing up for her team, her city, and the fans who supported her when no one else did. This isn't just a comeback, folks. It's a reckoning. For too long, Mitchell was ignored, buried under the hype, and written off by the media, which now pretends to care. But today, she's the backbone of the league's most exciting team. She's the voice of every underdog who never got their flowers. And whether the league likes it or not, she's done being quiet.
You know, to add on to what Christine asked about women's sports in general, you guys have played almost every game before a sellout crowd this whole season, wherever you've gone. And how much does that affect you on the court? And do you ever look around and say, hey, this place is packed, they want to see us? Those kinds of things?
I blame Caitlin. But I think it's a really great opportunity for us to like present, who we are as a team. And I think that the work that the class that came in, draft class that came in, did a really good job of putting ourselves on the pedestal to be known, to be seen, and I think that we can utilize that.
The numbers don't tell lies. Caitlin Clark isn't just changing the game, she's rewriting history. The WNBA's establishment has responded with backhanded compliments, veiled insults, and outright anger, while ESPN analysts smirk and say, it's not just about one player. They look down their noses and say the league was fine before she came along, but the truth is that these people are scared.
Shooter at 90% will take 3 here at the line.
Average 11 offensive rebounds a game, one of the best in the league.
Clark frees up Boston for 2.
7% for 3.
Have so much size in the front court.
The reason it's easy is that Clark's rise shows a painful truth. It's been decades since the WNBA had a truly great star, and now they have one. They don't even know how to handle her $28 million Nike deal, which is more than most pro contracts.
Hasn't shot, but it's just a great job. Change of spin down. An excellent screen. Look at this beautiful Caitlin Clark. Handles right. Here gets the screen.
It's her highlight reel plays and logo threes that stand out from the league's old school, worn-out style, and her unapologetic confidence that makes things different.
Here we go. One of the most anticipated matchups in the history of women's college basketball. Caitlin Clark and Iowa.
But here's what really makes the reviewers mad. Clark didn't just get new fans. She got 73-year-old grandfathers who had never watched a women's basketball game before, and teenage girls who now wear her jersey instead of LeBron's and watch just to see what she does next. When Kelsey Mitchell stood in front of the cameras and said, "The rise of women's basketball has a lot to do with Caitlin Clark," it wasn't just support. It was a declaration of war against the gatekeepers who spent months trying to downplay her impeachment. Now it's clear, you don't have to like Caitlin Clark, but you do have to accept what she's doing for the game. If the media keeps acting like they don't, Mitchell and millions of new fans will be there to remind them one viral moment at a time.
How have you guys experienced, is there like a moment that you think of when it comes to the explosion of the game and how it has changed the game?
When the Chinese grin curled into frame, the trap was set. Lord J said, "Your team and their fans are getting too much attention." The lights in the room shone. The cameras were rolling, and the ESPN group was waiting for Kelsey Mitchell to respond. They were expecting her to be quiet, comply, and fake a smile. They thought the test would be wrong. Mitchell didn't flinch, stutter, or even blink before tearing apart the story with surgical precision. "I think the rise of women's basketball has a lot to do with Caitlin Clark," she said. The air in that room turned cold, and the Chinese grin fell. Off camera, the directors were probably choked on their coffees because this wasn't just a response. It was a declaration of war. It was clear from the tone of the Chinese jab that the fever's rise was just a coincidence, and their fans are annoying. Caitlin's power is only temporary, but Mitchell, she didn't just throw out the idea, she burned it. With one line, she showed how the WNBA's media machine is broken at its core.
And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from 3, will dip inside and lay it in. There are the first points in the WNBA career of Caitlin Clark.
They don't want a star they didn't pick, a fan base they can't control, and most of all, they don't want a warrior like Mitchell, who is brave and battle-tested, to call them out on live TV for picking on a white girl.
If you have a and a, you are.
As soon as the news hit, fans took to social media to call ESPN out for being clearly biased. "Chinny, this is why people don't believe the news." Kelsey ended her career, but Mitchell really showed that the players have power. They're no longer begging for respect or being nice. The Fever aren't just changing the rules on the court, they're also changing the rules off of it. The WNBA's biggest trick was convincing everyone that rivalries sell tickets. But Clark and Mitchell are breaking the rules, and the league can't handle that.
Turn it over, and the chemistry between these two, it is blossoming every game.
Just nice handoff, one dribble to get it right back. What seems to be an easy switch.
This isn't just backcourt chemistry, it's a basketball symphony. Mitchell was the battle card killer who died for this team during its worst years. Clark, the meteoric star who brought the sport to the mainstream. On paper, they shouldn't work together. A 28-year-old veteran and a 22-year-old rookie, a high scorer and a pass-first master. But they are the most dangerous pair in the league, the media's worst nightmare, because they refuse to play the BS media game. The WNBA wants drama, manufactured beef and catfights, but Mitchell and Clark are too busy winning when the media tried to put Clark against Angel Reese. Mitchell put an end to it. Caitlin was in charge when Clark dropped dirty, but Mitchell played better than her. Clark then asked that Mitchell be named Player of the Month. This isn't just a board, it's a middle finger to everyone who thought jealousy would break them up, and to their opponents, who they scared double. Clark and Mitchell will kill you with 25 a night on almost perfect efficiency. If you lock down Mitchell and Clark, they will drop bad music that belongs on a mixtape. There is no plan and no weakness to exploit. They are just two killers who stood up to grief, pressure, and betrayal, and came out on top stronger.
Clark sizing up Cunningham. Here is Mitchell. Another three. Mitchell is locked in.
Great 1-2 punch there from Clark to...
They can't be broken by the news. The fans in the league can't ignore them because the Fever have the best starting lineup and the deepest bench. The haters are going to have a tough season because this isn't just a partnership. It's a revolution, and Mitchell and Clark are just getting started. They're making it all about the players in the game, not race. The WNBA begged for decades for primetime slots, corporate sponsors, and respect from a sports world that saw them as nothing more than an afterthought. They put up Watch Us Work billboards, started marketing campaigns, and begged fans to give women's basketball a chance. Then Caitlin Clark showed up.
Hold up.
The league got everything it wanted overnight. ESPN mega deals, arenas that were sold out, jerseys flying off the shelves, and a cultural moment bigger than anything since the 1999 Liberty Sparks rivalry. But instead of celebrating, the league's gatekeepers, many of whom are former players who now work as ESPN analysts, started apologizing. It wasn't just Caitlin, they said. The league was going before her, and we all know that's not true because the numbers show that Fever Road games now draw more fans than most home teams. Clark's rookie jersey outsold every active NBA player at one point, and WNBA League Pass subscriptions broke records the moment she was drafted.
And Clark. I mean, that's clear all which was called.
But instead of riding the wave, the league's old guard is sabotaging it. For example, analysts who didn't make a difference when they were playing are now downplaying Clark's impact and supporting weak stories to avoid admitting that one superstar changed the game, and it wasn't them.
It'll be an experience from a standpoint I've never been a part of it. So the spectacle, the fans, that'll be new for me. And so I'll be like a kid in a candy store probably. But ultimately, I got a legacy to uphold. I got a legacy to keep. And, you know, that's my dad. And so my mindset and my focus is to go and, you know, have that maintained focus for 40 minutes and compete.
Kelsey Mitchell saw through the WNBA's hypocrisy when she said that Caitlin Clark was a big reason for the rise of women's basketball. It wasn't just her defense of her teammate, it was the public execution of the league's fake unity story. Fans cheered because they're tired of all the gaslighting. And the truth is that the league waited 25 years for a Tiger Woods moment, and now it's here. They're too jealous to embrace it.
Washington into the timeout.
Dallas is certainly going to give Christie sides.
The Fever aren't just rising.
The league's old
They're
guard
coming
is
for blood,
sabotaging it.
and the league isn't
ESPN
laughing yet.
analysts, many of
They
whom
used
have
to be a
failed
team
to move
stuck
the
in
needle
mediocrity,
during their own
playing in half-empty
careers,
gyms while
are now
superstars left
downplaying
for
Clark's
bigger markets.
impact while
But now
popping
they
up
built a
mediocre
dynasty with
narratives to
Clark's
avoid
legendary
admitting the
passing,
truth. One
Mitchell's
superstar
ice-cold
changed the
scoring,
game,
and a
it wasn't
supporting
them.
cast that's deeper than any other team in the league. This team isn't just fun to watch. They're championship contenders, and the best part is that no one saw this coming. It's like a real-life Disney movie without AirPods.
Exactly what's happened. In fact, let's bring in the reporter, Alexa Philippou, who brought us this story. Alexa, what does this mean for the Mercury?
Well, the Mercury are going to look a lot different this season, and this is a huge first domino to fall, and Alyssa Thomas getting traded to Phoenix. Of course, she is one of the best players in the world.
The analyst who snubbed Clark for months now has to watch her dominate. The veterans who laughed at her hype now have to protect her in crunch time. And the league office that wouldn't let her market herself privately now has to watch her take the sport
came in
by
as a little
storm on her
twig.
own
The
terms.
strength
That's continued to develop with her and Caitlin. She said, basketball. Oh, what a pass. Boston. It's the rebound.
A lot of really nice passes on screen and roll action from the Seattle Storm.
Kelsey Mitchell jitters her way. Here's Mitchell on a three. She got it. Lloyd wanted a whistle.
with
But this is what
the deep
scares
three.
the haters the most.
I would say I first
Kelsey
became
Mitchell
comfortable,
hasn't even reached
honestly,
her
when I
peak
got into
yet.
college.
She's finally getting her revenge after 7 years of loyalty through losing seasons, playing through grief when her dad died, and being overlooked while last year's stars got all the attention. She's doing it with the best backcourt partner in WNBA history. So to the doubters, the jealous vets, and the ESPN talk show hosts, keep talking.
Yeah, I'm really excited about our club. We did really well in free agency, and we addressed some issues that we needed to address. Certainly getting some veteran players who have championship experience and leadership experience that can plug some holes for us where we needed it. I think our ability to stretch the floor, our ability to shoot the three, our ability to play with pace.
If you treat Kyan Clark badly, you're making Mitchell even more angry. If you act like the Fever aren't a contender, you give them even more confidence. When they win the championship in 2025, you'll only have yourself to blame. This isn't just another basketball team. It's becoming something much bigger. You'll want to keep watching as the story develops.
Who is really in charge of the WNBA right now? Is it Kelsey Mitchell's experienced leadership showing the way? Is it Kate McClar's superstar status that's making waves? Or is it their unbeatable partnership?
I go down as one of the bounciest players, playing on the balls of her feet.
Here for the last month or so as Boston finds Mitchell. Wow, skip pass. Here's Taurasi working the baseline. Mitchell on a three. Phoenix has missed their first four. You can see what.
We want to hear your opinion, so let us know in the comments who you think should win MVP this season. Also, if you're rooting for the Fever, hit the like button to show your support. Don't forget to subscribe for more real WNBA news. This is not the kind of talk you'll find on ESPN. Look at this guy. We are living through the start of a new age in women's basketball. Are you going to be a part of this exciting change? Are you going to sign with ESPN?